What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So I left my camera at home today because I didn't plan on filming a video because I just had one job and I just finished that up and I still have time left in the day. So I wanted to tackle this other job that I've got waiting on me to start right here. So this job is a little bit different. It's a little bit more special because this is a job that was sent to me from actually across the country. So normally I do primarily drop-off work, and I do have my few bars and such that I make local, or not locally, for online orders and such, my production items. I do have people that hit me up frequently online that are out of state that are looking to get work done. And most of the time I can't help them because a lot of stuff is custom fabrication, needs to be built to the vehicle and such. So this case isn't a whole lot different, but it's one that was worth me trying. So it's got kind of a cool story. So the owner of this turbo manifold here, his name is James Hiskett. Hi Scott. Sorry if I butchered that, but yeah, his name's James. And basically, I will link the link to the podcast, I think it was, that he had sent me. So to sum it up, pretty much he has a health issues and he's not going to be around forever. So basically, this is his very last build. He wants it to be good. He wants to have something that he can leave behind for friends and family and such, and people to see, and he can showcase what he was, his work, his quality, stuff like that. Like, obviously we know that your car is an extension of your personality, and he wants to be partially remembered by that through this. So, and he asked me, he's been a long time viewer of the channel. He's commented on every video. He's a huge supporter. He's always messaging me on Instagram, and it is awesome. And he asked me if I would like to modify this thing because he sent it out to get modified once before, and the guys didn't listen. They weren't able to really help him. So basically, let me flip you around. So basically, you can see here, this is the wastegate. This is the wastegate he's using. And what they did was, this is where the wastegate was normally positioned, I believe at this weld joint. So you can kind of picture that right there, or picture that right there. So basically, he wanted it moved, and instead of moving it and listening, they just extended it. So I don't know what happened with those guys, lack of communication, misunderstanding, whatever it was. But obviously this isn't going to work for him. So his thing now is he hit me up asking me if I'd be interested in working with him, and I was like, you know what, sure, it's worth a shot. So I've already marked out here. We've gone back and forth for a couple weeks while I was getting time to get this thing done, and then had to have him send me out the wastegate because I wasn't able to find one locally, and then had to wait for the guys down at Real Street. They have been helping him a lot from what I understand. So they sent him out a flange and such because we wanted to use a new one, so I didn't have to try and reuse this one. And he's working in a very tight situation. It is turbo setup, obviously. He's got a huge intercooler, radiator, all this other stuff, and he needs clearance. So long story short, don't need to go into detail about the different versions we've gone through or different iterations we've tried to deal with. But end of the day, we're just gonna end up mounting it straight to the manifold just like that. So my main concern is this big old gap right here on the front. I will find a way to, after I chop this off, maybe I'll cut a little V section out to try and at least fill that in a little bit, so I don't have to fill it all with weld, and then the rest of it is just minimal gap. Like, that ain't nothing. So that's what we're gonna do, is I'm going to modify this thing just a little bit. So I'm gonna start by chopping this off. Unfortunately, because this is already all welded, I don't have access into the flange and stuff. I am going to pretty much chop it at this weld joint and cap it off. So I'm just going to use some normal cold rolled steel that I have and use some 309 filler rod. And 309 filler rod actually has a higher carbon content in it than normal stainless rod. So it is a stainless rod, it's just more carbon in it. So it's good for going from stainless, which is this, to a mild steel, which would be the steel that I'm going to use to fill this up. So that's what we're going to do. Chop it at the weld, cap that off and plug it. I already got the plasma cutter over there, so I'm going to roll it over here. Got the air compressor fired up already. And we're going to torch this circle out, and then we're going to clean it up with a carbide burr bit, and we're going to try and get this all attached for him. And I don't have a camera mount for my tripod, at least not with me, so I'm going to have to set you guys up in miscellaneous spots or random spots around the shop, so don't judge me. got this piece cut off. Wasn't the easiest with a cutoff wheel. This stuff is super thick, and that's good. That's what the manifold should be made out of. But because of the weird bend, it cut pretty crooked, so I had to try and straighten it out as much as I could with a flat disc. So it's cleaned up enough to where I can just cap it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and trace, well, I suppose I can just measure the inside diameter of this guy, because obviously that's kind of how that was. So I'll just trace the inside diameter of this guy on some steel, and I'll probably just cut it with the plasma really quick and make it easy, make quick work of it. Got ourselves a little piece cut. It's already on the magnet, ready for me to start tacking it in place to then, you know, finish welding it. So moving on, before I do that, I'm now going to throw this piece of metal away. Now, since I got the plasma already ready, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this circle out, and yeah, we'll do that. All right, so this thing is all welded on now, and that cap's welded closed. I just bolted the wastegate onto it tightly so that way it can, you know, help transfer some of the heat. And then after it's cooled down all the way, I'm gonna take it and try and deck the flange on the belt sander, and then this thing's gonna be homeward bound. So wasn't a lot of work, but hopefully the guy appreciates it. Like, I mean, I'm sure he will, but hopefully it works out for him in this situation, in this orientation. Yeah, it's looking pretty good though. That's the cool part about doing this, but it's also the stressful part, is like, if that doesn't fit, it sucks. Then the guy's out I'm out, and yeah, it is what it is. So luckily he did say there is more adjustments he can make to make it fit, scoot the intercooler more up, adjust the radiator of some sort. But yeah, let's hope it fits now. Yeah, we're good. Seems like every single morning this week that I've decided to come in here and bring Finn with me. Well, I mean, I've been bringing him every day. So it's like every day that I bring Finn, the second I set him outside the car so I can start unloading my stuff, he finds the biggest stick he can and he meets me at the door. He's definitely an awesome little dog. So welcome to day 2 now. This is, now I have my camera, I'm not filming on my phone. Yesterday we freaking did the welding on James's manifold, and today we're gonna wrap this video up with doing the exhaust on this car. So before I do that, I'm going to take the flange off of this, or the blow off out wastegate, and I'm going to try and deck this flange a little bit for him. That way it's as true as possible. I don't really think it warped much, if at all. I tried doing my best with the heat control. I was using like the air gun to help cool it as I was going, but yeah, I'm tired today, dude. I don't know, my knees are giving me problems. We got some gnarly storm clouds overhead right now. It was raining last night. It's supposed to be raining all through the weekend, and I don't know, you older dudes, you dudes that have been athletic your whole life, you know that like achy joint pain I'm talking about. My knees are feeling it right now. I went to the gym this morning. Normally I run on the treadmill for like a mile. I walk 2 miles, but my knees are just killing me today. So I don't even think I have to bother moving these cars out, honestly. So I'm just gonna turn the lights on, get opened up real quick, sip on some coffee, try and wake up a little bit more, and we'll get this Civic knocked out. Well, that's looking pretty good to me. So that's nice and flat, very hot, capped up. We're good to send this thing back to James. This is what we're working with in this guy. So the engine isn't, well, I mean, I think the engine is done. I don't remember. So the engine was at the builders, and now it's ready for the exhaust. But the reason I have the hood open, even though I'm building an exhaust, is I have to take the header off. I have to modify the header. So this has, I want to say a K-tuned header of some sort, but whatever is on here, it's been modified previously, so it's running like a 2-bolt flange, but it's all kind of janky down there. I don't use flanges like that. Normally I pretty much only offer V-bands. Like if you bring me flanges, I'll use them, but as for having me supply stuff, I only use V-bands. So this is actually the stuff that we're working with right here. So got our Speed Factory 3-inch. I believe this is going to be stainless piping. We have a vibrant resonator and of course a vibrant muffler. So this is going to sound really nice, I think. I mean, granted, a lot of K-series pretty much all sound the same no matter what cat resonator muffler combo. They just got that K-series sound. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, pull this header off really quick. A couple 14s, I think, or 15s, whatever the bolts are. And then I do have 2.5 to 3 inch reducers, because this is 2.5 inch pipe, this is 3 inch, so I have 3 inch V-bands, so we got to go obviously 2.5 to 3 inch. So having that reducer's gonna let me make that transition. I don't know why they call it a reducer when it's going from a smaller to the larger. I mean, I guess it's reducing it if you go backwards from large to small, but actually I just bought a tool for that. So I've been trying to get one of these made for a minute because I don't know where else to buy them, but I finally found one online, and so far it works great. I've only used it for one, and that was a test fit. But this thing, so I forget who makes it, I'd have to look it up, but it's basically just a giant steel cone. Like, look at that focus. Yeah, just a giant steel cone, inner and outer. So you can reduce pipe sizing down, but this is to flare it up, so that way I don't have to be spending all this money on reducers and like pieces of metal like that when I can just start making the transition myself. 30 bucks for this thing. I usually spend 30 bucks a pop on those things. One of those work smarter, not harder. Time is money, stay efficient type tools. Yeah, if you guys are interested in doing it, I will have the Amazon link to it in the description or in the comments, whichever one. But yeah, I'm gonna pull this header off, see you in a sec. So I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to take this apart on the car. It is a two-piece thing. I may be able to drop the header down. This is one of those headers where it's a super, super tight fit up here. I forget which one this is, but you can see here, this is where it's been modified. And I can probably modify this again on the vehicle, but I'm gonna have 2 or 3 weld joints and I don't feel like fighting it on the car. So yeah, wish me luck. I can already tell this is going to be real fun to put on. Just finished getting the bottom part of the header prepped. So this is all 2.5 right here, and I actually found a 2.5-inch V-band that I just recently cut off because I needed to change the size on somebody else's car. So I'm going to reuse this because this is still perfectly usable. And I actually have a spare 2.5-inch because I just started trying to stock a couple things like this on hands. That way I can run into issues like this where I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to have an order, or I forgot to whatever get a flex pipe, and I'm like, oh wait, no, I do have a flex pipe. I just had to go in my little red cabinet over there. So now what I'm going to do to keep this compact, because obviously 2.5-inch is going to be smaller than a 3-inch, I'm going to attach this directly to the end of the header here, and then I'm going to attach the V-band to the other side of that, and then from that I'm going to run my 2.5 to 3-inch adapter into this resonator here. And then I'm going to have to save that for right after his shifter box here. So the header should end somewhere right around here with the flex pipe. And then that'll give me enough room to get my 2.5 to 3-inch. Probably use a couple inches of 2.5 right there to the 3-inch here so we can keep it tucked up, because that was a huge concern of his since he is very low. And then we'll start the 3-inch right about here with that second part of the V-band. So I got all of this done so far, the flex pipe and the first part of the V-band welded onto the mid-pipe thing here. Looks great, but this is exactly where that one tool I showed you on the press over here is going to come in handy. So this is the 2.5 to 3-inch piece that I need. And you can see, I obviously didn't cut this V-band flange off totally flush. So you can see it's kind of tweaked a little bit. So instead of trying to flatten that out and do all that stuff, because there's already some weld on there, that's not going to be easy. So what I can do is I can expand this, because it sits obviously on there just a little crooked. There's a slight gap over here. So I'm going to take this to the press thing. I'm going to flare this out a little bit and get it to sit just a little bit more tightly on there. Sorry for the lighting. There you go. Now you can kind of see a little bit better. Yeah, you get the point. Flare it out a little bit, get it to sit slightly better on there, and we will be good. Now you can see it's got that flared edge on the bottom there. Now it fits pretty much perfectly edge to edge on this thing, and that's gonna work minty. Yeah, it's a dope little tool. Like I said, it's like 36 bucks after shipping. Can't beat that. I want to try and get one machine that's a little bit smaller and starts a little bit fatter, so I don't have to have it so tall. I don't know, it's kind of awkward to fit in the press, but whatever. I need more press tools anyway. I'll just have to buy some as I can find them and afford them. But yeah, anyway, for the short term, this works minty. So I've moved on to the point where I'm starting to get the exhaust actually started, or being put together on the car. So there's the section we just built, and I just tacked this midsection here, this little middle piece, you know, to get the resonator where I wanted it. And now with the resonator here, we're basically right back at the end here where we can start turning. So I won't even have to use that kit's whole midsection here, so he can take that with him, or he can leave it here, either or. Yeah, so that's nice. And then the muffler itself literally comes all the way back to like right here. So yeah, really all I got to do now is just tack the bent section, trim it, obviously make it fit, but like attach the midsection to the muffler here, and then pull it all down and weld it all up, add some hangers. This thing's freaking toasty. So I'm trying to be nice, and I'm even using the bubble wrap on here to not scratch it up, because yeah, I'm a nice guy like that. This thing has definitely been giving me a run for my money in this back section. So the exhaust tucks up as much as I can get it, because the header already comes super low, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's huge pipe on a little car, so basically the part that I've been having the most trouble with is I thought it was going to be as easy as just doing the one section and tacking it up, but it was actually 2 sections and they were very awkwardly done. And then over the control arm is always the hardest part, especially since this muffler is so large. You can see it's tucked pretty much back even with the subframe brace, and it's just about even with the subframe brace actually, and it still sticks out, and I think that should be good. He may, I don't know, he sent me a picture of kind of how we want it, and it was sticking out like 3 times as much, so he said less than what the picture is, but not flush. That's not really flush, it's poking out, so hopefully that's okay. But finally got this all tacked up, so I am missing 2 more of these hangers, so I'm going to use these in the back for the muffler, so that one I can hang somewhere here, and then the 2 I can go off of the OEM spots. So, but I am absolutely roasting right now. It's so freaking humid right now and hot. I can't really have any of the fans when I got this one going, but away from me, so I can't feel it just to move the air in the shop, because with all the welders going, I can't have any air flowing. So I do have to wait till my girlfriend gets off of work in about an hour, and she's going to swing by the store and grab me those hangers since I'm, you know, puppy sitting. Yeah, because this has to be done tonight. The guy's going to come and pick it up in the morning, so it has to be done tonight. Anyway, yeah, I may try and pull the midsection off and at least get that welded up really quick. That would pull really quick, so that's probably what I'm going to do. Okay, after a super long, frustrating battle with this thing, I tried to be like even more legit and just use the TIG welder only on this car, and I've definitely learned that that's just not how I like to do things. For tacking stuff up, I definitely prefer to just go and use the MIG welder to tack everything, grind those flat, and then TIG over them, because trying to do it was a pain in the ass. Now, let me get this thing up in the air and at least show you guys how it looks. Here's the tip at least. So hopefully you don't mind the lighting. It's a little dark in here since it's like 7 at night now, but yeah. So my only concerning part is right here, because this header, you can kind of see curves it out towards the driver's side here. So worst case, kind of just rebend the hanger a little bit with a pry bar or something, but it shouldn't be an issue. I don't know, there's some play in it, so worst case, yeah, just kind of, actually I didn't even tighten the hangers, that's probably it. This is one of the bolt-on ones. But otherwise, we're looking okay. So yeah, the dude hopefully should be here shortly to check it out, and hopefully he likes it. Civic is done. Yeah, that one, it was an all-day job, and it wore me out. A couple days later now, so I just got to the shop. It's late in the afternoon. I have a job showing up in about an hour. I'm here a little bit early. This job was scheduled for later in the day. He had school during the day, just doing like some resonator deletes. So I'm not going to be filming that. Instead, I'm going to take a minute to do a little bit of work on this, on the S2000. I got my own little goodie here. First thing I've bought for the S2000 in quite a bit. Like it's been a minute since I've put anything on the S, and this isn't mechanical. This is just like a little aesthetic touch, but I think it'll be nice. So let's open this box and find out what it is. Oh yeah, and check this out. I bought a fridge. This was on sale at Walmart the other day. It was like 130 bucks on rollback. So I was like, dude, yeah, I've been needing one, because this little one down here, give me that freaking energy drink, because this one down here doesn't have a freezer, so I wanted the freezer so I could start bringing some lunches down and stuff, because I like the chicken and rice bowls and such, and I like to freeze them. But this fridge freezes more than it fridges, and there's no freezer, so yeah, it's a lose-lose. Voila. Check those things out. So if you don't know what these are Ap2 tail lights. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing Ap2 tail lights, it's because they look cooler. Now, styling wise, the AP1s don't look bad by any means, but to me, they look more like BMW Z3 tail lights. And part of the reason the Ap2 looks so good is it's more modern for how old the car is. Now granted, the last model Ap2 came out like 09, but the Ap2 taillights have always just looked cleaner, more up to date. And the S2000, even though it's a 20-year-old car, still looks very modern. And also the Ap2 taillights have like an LED ring as like the running light slash the brake light. And to me, it just looks way better. I like the Ap1 headlights. Ap2 headlights look good, but I personally just like the Ap1 headlights more. Eventually I'll get a new set because mine are really beat up, kind of broken. But at least for the taillights, these are not OEM Ap2 taillights. These are there's a company in SoCal that sells them on eBay. And they only pop up every now and again in small batches, and I just happened to check the other day and they had a couple sets left, so I scooped a set. And the reason I didn't get OEM ones is because you can use OEM Ap2 taillights, but they don't fit the same because they have 3 bulb holes because of 3 different lens pieces here. So these retro style ones are actually LED, and they just these are direct plug and play to the Ap1 slots, whereas the Ap2 ones, you have the 3rd hole in the inside area here, and you'd have to drill a hole in the rear of the car to fit them, and then add a wire and stuff. And it's just these look the exact same, black housing, LED, and everything. So let's go put these on really quick.
Motherfucking axe have been blown for months and just but like. Maybe the other connector.
Oh yeah. Okay. Brakes. Brakes. Okay. All right, got them all installed. They fit honestly great. This side fit a lot better. I did find that this side of my car is definitely the tweaked side, so whenever it got rear-ended, this was definitely the impact side. So it doesn't fit totally perfect. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's like the trunk sucks it back over like this, and then inside where like the water drains, there's a slight gap. Good thing these have brand new gaskets on them, so it's not a huge concern. But yeah, otherwise they look fantastic. I'm super stoked on it. It's just, like I said, one of those features that just kind of updates the rear end of the car just a little bit. Looks definitely a little bit better than these guys. So not that these are bad by any means, like I said, it's just, to me these are more BMW Z3 styled, and then these are just much more modern. Yeah, there's another side-by-side look. So alright, well, on that note, I'm gonna wrap this video up. The Civic is good. Now the S2000 is just looking a little bit better. And yeah, I'm gonna sit around for a few minutes, try and wake up a little bit and wait for this next job to come. So if you did enjoy this video, please, by all means, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. And if you want to help support the channel, which I hope you do, you can like, comment, and share the channel around. Obviously subscribe, help get the numbers up there, because you know the way algorithms and numbers and social media work. But also, if you want to help support the channel, I do have a big cartel where you can get my merch, SD Fab merch. I am waiting on my shirt to come in, just a basic, simple SD Fab stamp right here on a black t-shirt. Should be sick. I'll let you guys know when they arrive. If I like the quality of the shirts, I will post them in the big cartel. And that's also where you can find my metal products back there, such as my DA front rear bumper bar, Targa roof brace for the Del Sol, EG front bumper bar, DA K-swap, intakes, and such like that. Anyways, guys, do what you love. Forget the rest. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.